What if your house isn't actually smart? What if it's just complicated? It's a strange thought, especially when you look around and see how much technology is already inside. Modern homes, smart lights that respond to your phone, a smart speaker waiting for your voice, a door lock that opens with an app. On paper, it sounds like the future has already arrived. But if you pay attention to how most smart homes actually work, something feels slightly off. The house has more technology than ever before. Yet it often demands more attention than it should. You open one app to control the lights, another to check the cameras, another to adjust the temperature. Instead of simplifying life, the home slowly turns into a small network of digital tasks. Give a command, check a connection, update a device, and the strange part is that most homeowners believe the solution is simply adding more technology. If the lights don't work well, buy smarter ones. If the system feels slow, add another hub. If the voice assistant struggles, add another device. But the more gadgets people install, the more complicated the experience often becomes. What was supposed to feel effortless starts to feel like something you have to constantly manage, almost like running a tiny tech system inside your own house. And that raises an important question. If smart homes are supposed to make life easier, why do so many of them feel harder to live with? The answer isn't the technology itself. It's something much more subtle. A hidden mistake most people make when building their smart homes. And once you see it, you'll start looking at smart homes in a completely different way. When people imagine a smart home, the picture is always the same. It's not a house filled with gadgets. It's a home that feels almost aware. You walk into a room, and the lights gently come alive around you. Not suddenly or harshly, but softly, like the house noticed you arrived. The temperature is already comfortable before you even think about adjusting it. Curtains open with the morning light. Music quietly fills the space when the day begins. In this vision of a smart home, technology doesn't demand your attention. It quietly supports the rhythm of your life. You don't open apps. You don't issue commands. You simply live, and the house responds naturally. That's the fantasy the smart home industry has always promised. A living space that feels calm, intuitive, almost like a silent assistant working in the background. Not something you manage, something that manages itself. But when many people actually start building that dream, the experience often turns out very different. Instead of simplicity, the house becomes a collection of tiny control systems. One app for the lights, another for the security cameras, another for the thermostat. Instead of the house quietly helping you, you find yourself constantly interacting with it. Adjusting settings, checking connections, giving commands just to make basic things happen. And suddenly the home that was supposed to feel intelligent begins to feel like something else entirely. Not a comm assistant, but a complicated control panel. And that gap between the home we imagined and the one we actually built is where most smart homes quietly lose their magic. This is the moment where most smart homes quietly go off track. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly. A smart bulb today, a smart plug tomorrow, a security camera a few weeks later. Each new device feels like progress, The box promises convenience, automation, and a smarter living space. And at first, it's exciting. You install the light. It responds to your phone. You add a smart speaker. It listens to your voice. You install a camera. Now your home feels safer. Every device works exactly as advertised. So naturally, the next step seems obvious. Add more. Another light for the hallway. A smart plug for the coffee machine. A sensor for the door. But over time, something subtle begins to happen. Your home stops feeling like a system and starts feeling like a collection. Each device is intelligent by itself, but they don't always understand each other. The lights belong to one app. The cameras live in another. The thermostat runs on a completely different platform. Instead of the house working together, every piece of technology waits for instructions. And suddenly you become the one connecting everything. Opening apps, adjusting settings, troubleshooting devices that suddenly stop responding. What started as a smart home slowly turns into something else. A collection of tiny systems that require constant attention. More apps, more updates, more things that randomly stop working. This is what experts quietly call the gadget trap. A home filled with smart devices, but missing the one thing that actually makes a home intelligent. A system where everything works together. Most people think a smart home should look impressive. Screens on the wall, apps on every phone, lights flashing, devices announcing themselves. But the truth is different. The smartest homes don't try to look smart. They feel calm. Real intelligence is quiet. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't require constant interaction. It doesn't ask you to manage it every day. In a truly well-designed smart home, you don't wake up and start opening apps. You don't walk around giving voice commands just to make the house function. The home responds before you think about it. Morning light gradually brightens, not suddenly. The transition feels natural, like the sun itself is inside the room. The temperature adjusts in the background, keeping the environment comfortable without you touching anything. In the evening, the atmosphere shifts. Lights soften automatically. The space becomes warmer, calmer, more relaxed. Not because you remembered to change settings, but because the system understands time and routine. When night falls, doors lock themselves. Security activates quietly. Sensors work in silence. Everything aligns with behavior patterns you've already established. That's the difference. Not more gadgets, not more screens, not more complexity, but thoughtful automation built around daily life. A smart home should reduce friction, not create it. If technology requires constant supervision, it isn't truly intelligent. It's just equipment with Wi-Fi. Real smart living disappears into the background. You don't notice the system. You notice the comfort. You notice the flow. You notice the peace. And that's when a house stops feeling like a project and starts feeling like a home that understands you. Here's the shift most homeowners never make. When people think about upgrading their smart home, the first question they ask is simple. What gadget should I buy next? A new camera, a smarter speaker, another automation device promising to simplify life. But this is where most smart homes go wrong. Because a truly intelligent home doesn't begin with devices, it begins with life. Instead of asking what technology to install, The real question should be, how should my home behave throughout the day? Think about the moments that define everyday living. The quiet start of a morning, the calm feeling of coming home after a long day, the sense of security when the house settles in for the night. These moments are where smart design begins. Imagine a calm morning routine. The lights slowly brighten instead of switching on abruptly. Curtains open naturally with the rising sun. The temperature adjusts to make the room comfortable before you even leave the bed. No commands, no apps, just flow. In the evening, the atmosphere changes again. Lights soften automatically, creating a warmer environment that helps the mind relax. Music can gently begin in the background, transforming the room into a place to unwind. And when it's time to leave the house or go to sleep, security quietly takes over. Doors lock, systems activate. Everything settles into place without effort. This is the real secret of a smart home. Technology shouldn't demand attention. It should support life's moments. When automation is designed around real routines and real emotions, something interesting happens. Your home stops feeling like a collection of gadgets and starts feeling like a space that understands you. A truly smart home isn't something you walk into and admire. It's something you feel, not because of the devices you see, but because of the effort you no longer have to make. Most people think intelligence looks like technology. Screens, voice assistants, apps controlling every corner of the house. But real intelligence feels different. It's subtle. It's the way your lights don't shock you awake in the morning. They gently rise, like the sun already knows you're ready to start your day. It's how your home becomes quieter at night without you asking. The lights soften. The temperature settles. The space begins to slow down with you. No commands, no reminders, no interruptions. Just a home that moves with your rhythm. Because when technology is done right, it disappears. You don't notice the automation running in the background. You don't think about the systems connecting everything together. You just notice how easy everything feels, how calm the space becomes, how your daily routines stop feeling like tasks and start feeling natural. That's the difference. A complicated home makes you adapt to it. A smart home adapts to you. And that's why the smartest homes in the world aren't filled with more devices. They're built on something much simpler: clear intention, thoughtful design, and systems that quietly support your life without getting in the way. In the end, it's not about how advanced your technology is. It's about how little you have to think about it. Because simplicity is the real intelligence.